Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to another Divine Appointment. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Little R&R goes a long way. Um, I was looking at some stuff over the weekend. I just came across, something interesting. And it was a dating show. So the dude on the dating show asked the woman, um, like, what do you bring to the table? And they were doing like a get to know me and stuff, and asking a couple of questions, and that's what he asked her. So she turned around and said she didn't like the question. And he goes, why not? He's like, well, anytime you're trying to get to know somebody, you want to know what they bring. He's like, you know what I do, you know what I'm looking for. So, of course, I would like to know what you bring because everybody brings something. And she's like, I just don't appreciate that question. So I feel like if somebody asks you that question and you have that response, it's because you don't care about bringing anything to the table. Some people are a little fickle that way, especially like sometimes the younger girls or younger women. They're very picky and selective and want a man with um, to be whatever way groomed well, have maybe a little prestige, have a good job, be just have some money. And sometimes I don't know if they care even how they get the money. They just want them to have some money. And then, so when the man is asking, "What do you bring to the table?" she don't have an answer because she's not prepared. Excuse me, she's not prepared because she wasn't expecting him to want anything from her per se. She's thinking if she gets dolled up, if that much, and she shows up and just presents herself as she is, that should be enough. But men who are, if they're dating with intention and looking for a wife, they're gonna want that virtuous woman. They're gonna want a woman who can bring something to the table. You don't have to necessarily be out in the world working. You have to have certain qualities, you have to be able to um, answer the question, and meet meet the need because it's not about sexual needs or anything like that. It may be more of just what he's looking for to have a good relationship, a balanced relationship, something that's gonna be long term. And you can't get that from somebody who can't answer a question like that. So that's an automatic exempt. You just like completely X yourself out of his consideration because you wouldn't answer a question. But a woman should show up prepared if she's looking to date for love or dating with intention for a husband. Now, a lot of women say they want a husband, but do they know what that means? Because when you have a husband, you have to be less selfish. You can't be selfish. When you have a husband, you have to be of service. Women are naturally go on service. Like if we cook and prepare meals and clean up and things like that, that's a service. But it's deeper than that. If a man comes home and he has like you guys have say you're married, your husband come home, you got 3 kids, he still wants his peace. He wants you to be nurturing and loving towards your children. He wants you to be peaceful. He wants you to be um, effective, basically, just to be present to do the things that are expected. Now, if you're both working, I still believe that both parties could work for that peace at the end of the day, because it's you both of your kids. So when you have kids, it's a joint effort, especially if both parties are working. Well, when it's just him working, you, I guess for me, I'm just speak for myself for a second. I would think that it's my job to provide like a safe haven and a sanctuary when my husband comes home. He shouldn't have to worry about nothing. If he's hungry, I should be ready to fulfill that. And there are things you can do to put him at ease once he comes in the home. After he's eaten, maybe he's relaxed or watching TV a little bit. There are things you can do to put him at ease. And I'm not just talking about sex or anything like that. I'm just talking about intimate things you could do, you could say, you can share with him and reaffirm him, you know, always be appreciative, tell him thank you for, just bring something to him that he doesn't have right now. You know what I'm saying? Because he might be working hard every day and going home by himself. So now when he's entering that realm in his life where he's looking for his partner, he shouldn't feel like he's still by himself when he comes home. Or, you know, that's another thing. Some women aren't present when the man gets home, you know what I'm saying, too. So, and then for the woman, if you ask a man what he brings to the table, he should have a nice response like that he's kind, protective, God fearing. He has leadership qualities. He's responsible. Um, he's sober minded. I mean, he can drink occasionally, but he's sober minded 90% of the time. 99 point, most of the time he's sober, and he's ambitious, or even if he's at a place in his life where he's making $60,000-$70,000 and you're newlyweds or something like that, that's not bad, and I feel like women shouldn't just date a man for money, because you could miss some beautiful men that you actually might get along with that have money. Sometimes you could get a man that has some money and he could be your worst nightmare. Because he has money, he might feel like he can control you or tell you, it could take on a whole different atmosphere depending on how much money we working with. Because people tend to get money and do a little different, move a little different. So, yeah, this was just something to consider. Because, like, I was thinking about what what men need from a woman and what a woman may need from a man. So when you're in a dating scenario and you're getting to know each other, always have something to fall back on that you bring. It could be like 3 good things. You could be like, I'm a peaceful person. I bring calm. I bring a nurturing spirit, and I'm a person of service. I like to be helpful. Those are beautiful qualities. And don't be stealing my stuff. I mean, you can't just say that. You got to do it. You got to be that woman of service that actually shows up and performs what you say. See, so yeah, we can show up and be all jazzy and all that too. But another side of that too is that men like us natural. They like natural beauty. Sometimes the women with the extra long eyelashes and fingernails and all the hair and glam, sometimes that's too much for them. Sometimes if a man is dating, looking for a wife, he won't pick that because it's what everybody else is doing. A man that picks a wife wants a woman that's like unique, individual, and has her own beauty, her own movement, her own relationship with God, and her own, set of her morals have to line up with God, but something that she personally has within that she's willing to share. But like I said, when some guys meet women and they're all flashy and eccentric in a way, men are turned off by too much flash. You know, they're like, that's a lot, that's too much. You got on too much makeup, you got on too much this, you know, or sometimes like that's too much skin. So when people come around and they're trying to get to know you, I think they prefer a natural, softer side. I mean, not to be plain Jane, but you can wear neutral makeup and, you know, tone it down and still be beautiful and present yourself gentle, feminine, you know, just be the woman you are. And then um they'll take that look at you and look at you a little more seriously than those that's all dressed up. Cause it's like for them, I think too, I can't speak for every man, but I think that some men see all that makeup and it's like, well, what's behind the makeup? It's like a mask. What are you hiding? If you can't just show up all natural and be yourself, then he's not really going to get to know you. So you got to be comfortable, you know. I think it's better to show them you as you are in the natural. I think it's cute when people meet, like if a dude hits on a woman in the grocery store. Most women that go to the grocery store are not dolled all up and they all natural. They might have a little baseball cap on and their hair in a ponytail and they just relaxing, going about, might have a little basket and going about their day. And somebody will be like, oh, she gorgeous. And he love you just, and you feel like, oh, I wasn't even dressed up today. That's what they like. They want to be able to like what they see without all the glam. The glam is all fine and dandy if y'all got an event, but it's not mandatory. I think he'll, you know, if a man wants to love you, he's going to love you natural or not. So it's okay to be ourselves, ladies. And I think it's better to be modest, which means more natural, and um, cover it up a little bit because you got to leave us something to the imagination. Men don't like to think that, you know, you walking around showing all his skin. Because if he's seeing you like that, then he thinking other people see you like that all the time. And maybe you do like to dress a little revealing. So that would make him a little insecure about, you know, are you really in a scenario to really find a relationship? Or are you just on display for whoever? So this is, I'm not a man, but I've had relationships and I've talked to enough men to have an idea. And then I watch these shows, these little dating shows. I pay attention. I'll be taking notes. I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know if I ever want to get married again or not. I think God would have to literally drop my husband out the sky if I'm supposed to get married again. But in the meantime, I like just paying attention just because I do. You know, I'm kind of inquisitive and I like to learn new things. So I just thought, yeah, I'd share that with you guys. I thought it was kind of interesting. But if you got any value out of this or like this video, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share. Please like and subscribe. And thank you so much for joining me for Divine Appointment. And I will look forward to speaking with you again later. Have a wonderful day.